Hi everyone, it's me, Julie O'Connell, coming on here to wish everybody a beautiful night. Do want to talk to you about the struggles. The struggles are real. We're living paycheck to paycheck in this country at this point. The policies that have been put in place are not doing what they should be doing. And anybody who knows about tariffs should know that it's going to only raise the prices up. The people that voted this joker in do not realize that there are people that are on the verge of homelessness because they can't afford to live anymore. When you have a government that allows rental units to go up by 20% each year, this isn't okay. There's people in New York trying to find affordable housing, and when you have apartments for like $8,000 a month, it's not okay. Something needs to be done about this because people are really struggling right now. And we see it, but I am so glad we are also cracking down on the people who abuse the system with the EBT. Because there are people out there who have abused the system, they have more and more children, and they use the EBT system as like a cash cow. People who pay taxes are getting fed up with this. I literally saw a TikToker named Mama C who said she got $3,300 in EBT and $900 cash assistance, and she only pays $70 in rent. She's living in a nice apartment or a nice house on our dime. This isn't okay. People are really struggling right now. The struggle is real. And when you have policies put in place that don't help, it's not okay. We also have RFK in there who wants to get rid of vaccines, who also wants to get rid of psychiatric drugs for people who absolutely need it. This isn't okay either. I don't support this, and people are struggling so severely. And people also need to realize I don't try to get into credit card debt. I have learned the hard way. I had to use a consumer credit consolidation agency to help me in my early 20s to get rid of some credit card debt. I've learned now that I pay my bills off on time. Sometimes it's hard when I get the bill late, like my State Farm bill, but for the most part, I do try to pay my bills on time. That's why I have a really good credit rating. But at the same time, people don't get it. There are people out there struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. They're on the verge of homelessness, and they're normalizing living in a car or living in the van life. They are romanticizing the van life. Also, in LA, the homeless people can only live in one 50-block area called Skid Row. This is gross. In LA, there was a gentleman I watched on YouTube channel that was actually trying to build tiny homes for the homeless people in LA. We need to get back to helping each other. I know that it's really difficult for, young people and other people to survive. We had a lady outside of my work the other day that had a sign. She was a single mother of 4 and she was really struggling. So a nice person in the cashier's line next to me actually bought her some food. So I was really appreciative of that. I really appreciate the random acts of kindness in this world. I also do philanthropy work. I do donate to the Food Bank of Delaware just because I know there's many people struggling. But right now, I am struggling. So if it's if it's only a matter of time. So I've been having to cut back some of the stuff that I've donated to. Like I used to donate to an organization that would adopt cats out and move them from a high kill shelter and bring them in their shelter so that they can find a home. I've had to stop doing that. And I've learned too, like recently, everything's a subscription. Like you don't. I stopped subscribing to stuff. Like seriously, everything's a subscription. Like on TV, you need to have a subscription for like Netflix, the cable, the Hulu, Disney Plus. Like that's a lot. And also, people who spend money every single day on Starbucks, what the heck? I saw that one of those Starbucks drinks was like $9. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's why I don't go and drink coffee every morning. I mean, if I'm lucky, I make myself one with Insta coffee here. But no, it's very scary what's happening. And the policies that have been put in place do not help the average American person. We are struggling and the struggle is real. I know that it's really, even with two people working in this household, it's very difficult. Like in this day and age, a single person working for $15 an hour cannot make it. The average rent around here is between $2,100 to $2,600. That's for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath around here. When you live in a resort area, they can raise the prices. Our property taxes are going to go up this year. They're going to go up significantly. And people in the school districts are struggling too as well. They wanted to raise our rates up by 30%. That referendum did not pass. I absolutely agree with my mother. We do need to fund education, but what is going on in our policy makers, it's not okay. And yes, I agree, we do not need a large government, but we also need organizations like the Bureau of Land Management to be dismantled. We need other organizations that don't really necessarily do much need to be dismantled. But the Department of Education and the EPA and like the environmental protections, we need that all to remain. And we have a lot of like food industries that are being contaminated. Boar's Head was contaminated with listeria and other stuff. There's been lettuce that's been contaminated with E. coli. We need to have better regulations put in place. And I don't see the government working on any of this. And it's very, very frustrating. I've only seen it get worse in the last decade. The homeless population is ballooning out of control. And in Seattle, Washington, the policymakers have made it so difficult for the cops to do anything about it. There are people on have multiple accounts of criminal activity, and yet they're still turned out the next day on the street doing the same thing. The drug addiction in this country is out of control. Fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, crystal meth are all out of control right now. And I get it. Some people think it's more safe to live in their car and in a van and also in one of these little tiny homes that this gentleman built. Because there are people out there that are really strung out and they can get violent. The fact that LA only wants homeless people to live in Skid Row, that's not okay. Like, there needs to be better housing and shelter systems. We need to go back to the days of having boarding houses. Honestly. And board rooms for cheap, like they used to do back in the day. But it's gotten so bad that people are really tired and they're struggling. And the struggle is so real. I see it on a daily basis. I see homeless people out there holding signs saying they will work for food, or they have children and they need help. It's very sad. And a lot of the homeless people in Wilmington, they are retired vets. Veterans that deserve better and have dignity and to have a roof over their head. They served our country. They deserve better. They deserve better than what they're getting. And struggles for people are real, and we have a chronic system where people are getting EBT, and it's been a systematic thing. It's been generational. They're learning from other people that this isn't okay and that they can abuse the system. They don't pay taxes into it. We do. The people that actually work and go to work pay the taxes into it. We did not sit here and pay taxes for you to have a free ride. It just doesn't work that way. And yes, in certain states like West Virginia, where the coal industry has been really hit hard and other industries have been hit hard, there's hardly any jobs in West Virginia. People are moving out of West Virginia at an alarming rate. People are also moving away from the high, are moving out of Florida too, because there's a housing crisis there. I saw on a video that a mobile home park, the owner of the mobile home park, basically gave these people a month's notice to move and only gave them $14,000 for a unit. And if they didn't move out within that month, they were only going to get $3,000. This isn't okay. This is what should not be happening in America. America was built on being a melting pot. And some of the policies about not including people, it's just disturbing. We need to start having inclusion again, and the people that are, the cancel culture and the woke people, they need to go away, because they really ruined a lot of things. They really have. And for me, my struggle is real. I can tell you things that I have done to help me save money. Especially if you're the type of person to go to Coinstar. I've started rolling my change. I do not go to Coinstar because they charge an arm and a leg for your hard-earned money. I try not to use credit cards too much, and I try to pay them off. Because if you're only paying the minimum payment, sometimes it's going to take you years to pay that credit card off. Things that I have also learned, I no longer buy the brand name stuff. I try to buy store brand stuff. Or if I see a clearance item. Like, I know at Giant they stopped selling the low salt or the no salt peanut butter. So I bought a few of those because I do have high blood pressure, and it helps me when there's stuff that doesn't have a lot of salt. I've also found that because I'm in menopause, I've gained some weight. So it's been hard on my body. And I do try to exercise when I can. On Tuesday, I might go down to the beach if it's really nice out. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain, and I have to work tomorrow, so that struggle is also real. But to go with how to save money, it used to be in the Sunday News Journal you could find coupons. They no longer have coupons in the news journals anymore, or any of the Sunday newspapers. The government needs to bring coupons back for people to help, because it does help lower the costs. When I was watching those extreme couponers, I was shocked at how much stuff they got for free. just because they were doing it right. They were getting it at the sale price plus a coupon. They were actually making money. But I wish they would bring back the programs that had the coupons. Long gone are, the handouts. And, the prices of eggs are ridiculous. They're like, some of the eggs are like $9, $10 a carton. The price of a loaf of bread. Some of the prices have gone up to like $5.49 for a loaf of bread. People cannot survive on this. We need to be mindful of this. And we need to work together as a country to help each other. I mean, I know a lot of people who don't have very many friends and they don't have a support system. Support systems are everything. That's why I enjoy spending time with my family. I really do. And when we get together, we have a good time. I work hard for my money, so I really don't appreciate people who abuse the system. And there's a lot of people out there that do. My friend John Durkin, he lived in North Carolina. He lived in a rehabilitation center. He had a major stroke 3 years prior from this last stroke. He's had multiple strokes. He absolutely deserved to have disability. There are people out there that claim they're disabled when they're able-bodied adults. They need to be investigated and they need to be locked up because that is fraud. Stealing somebody else's identity is fraud. My fiance was watching a video. There's a casino in Myanmar. They're run by the mafia, and they have actually trafficked people. And this guy was doing YouTube, and they told him he couldn't film anymore. Because he got several people on camera saying they were trafficked and their passports were held. This is a very serious issue. Trafficking happens in our country too. It happens under the guise of religion. Scientology is a known criminal entity that traffics children. They are a pay-to-play scheme, so do not fall into the trap of Scientology. It's very abusive, and they have very abusive practices. This is why I do not support Scientology in our country. And in Clearwater, Florida, they have literally bought like 90% of downtown Clearwater. The only saving grace for Clearwater is that they have beautiful beaches and the beach resort area is okay. We need to get back to helping each other and just look out for one another. There's too much hatred in this country. There's too much divide about the color of our skin. We need to start supporting each other. When I heard on a video today by Jack Morgan about a 62-year-old woman living in a tent because she had to put money into a trust for her mother to live in a rehab facility, that is absolutely heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking on all the levels. It's just so frustrating. People who do all this need to, help one another. And yes, in Seattle, where the cost of living there is so high, they've raised the minimum wage to almost $21 an hour. This has caused many retailers and shops and restaurants to go out of business because they could not afford to raise the minimum wage. In Florida, it's $8 an hour. That's disturbing to me. Disturbing. I like watching Jack Morgan and all these other creators that are talking about the economy right now. Because it is a serious wake-up call. And we need to hold our elected officials accountable for the policies that they put in place that are harmful to human beings and harmful for the people living the way that they are living right now. For me, I try to be kind. That's how I am. That's how I roll. And I do try to help people when I can. But right now, I'm struggling, so I am not going to be able to do that right now. Thank you and have a great night.